in the series 10-7. The Yankees beat them and win the series. We got a lot to talk about on today's Locked On Twins postcast.
You are Locked On Twins postcast, part of Locked On Sports Minnesota, your team every day.
And welcome to another edition of our Locked On Twins postcast. Today is Thursday, June 9th. I'm the host of Locked On Twins, Nash Walker, here with writer and reporter at Access Twins, Brandon Warren. And Brandon, the Twins lose to the Yankees. They win one out of these three. We'll look ahead to the Rays series as well. But before that, this game was crazy. And right out of the gate, maybe one of the more shocking developments of the entire season and of the last couple seasons. Twins jump on Gerrit Cole. Wow. I mean, that was incredible.
Yeah. I mean, you can focus on the first inning with back-to-back-to-back. You can focus on 5 total home runs. You can focus on Cole not even completing 3 innings. But not many people are going to want to hear about that at the end of this one, and I get it. But at the same time, I mean, there were obviously key mistakes. Jorge Polanco had the throw to first. I don't know who exactly has the blame for the pop-up miss between Correa and Polanco. I guess 2 shortstops, usually shortstop has the right of way. I don't know. But at the end of the day, if Joan Duran comes in and does not give up or get rather a single out, it's not going to happen. So these things happen. It's a frustrating, demoralizing loss, but it's 1 of 162, and you just got to pick up where you left off. Well, better than where you left off tonight against the Rays.
After a tough loss, it's a great time for a chewy, chocolatey brownie. What about a caramel brownie with caramel swirled on top? So good. What if I told you can have all that chewy, chocolatey goodness plus 17 grams of protein? Go to built.com. That's built.com. Use promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCKED. That's LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. Maybe the biggest development here and the biggest positive for the Twins, Brandon, as we try to remain positive. The Twins are 3-3 against the Jays and Yankees. In their current state, I think we would have absolutely taken that heading into the Toronto series. But Byron Buxton looks like he's back, has 2 home runs tonight off Gerrit Cole.
The Twins have to take 2 of 3 for me not to have to wear a White Sox hat after the Rays series on our postcast, by the way. But yes, it's very encouraging to see Buxton getting hot again. That slash line all of a sudden is a much more palatable 231, 315, 563. Again, and I don't want people to think we're trying to put shine on a very tough, very demoralizing loss, but there were definitely positives. If you hit 5 home runs, if Byron Buxton hits 2 and Trevor Larnach hits 1, I mean, they absolutely destroyed Gerrit Cole. You can spend some time on a postcast. I'm going to make the rule right now, talking about good things too. And so, Buxton especially really is exciting. Couple hits, 4 runs driven in, even took a walk. He did everything you could want, and it just, came out on the short end.
I think the reason that I sit here, and it's obviously disappointing. Like, I agree with you. It's demoralizing. It's disappointing. The Twins were 7-7 in game 3 of this series in the 7th inning with the chance to win the series when they started Cole Sands, Chris Archer, and Dylan Bundy. So for me, like, to even be in that spot in the 7th inning was a surprise and a pleasant surprise. And they should have won this game tonight. Clearly, they hit 5 home runs against Gerrit Cole. And I mean, it's hard not to look at it as anything other than a blown game. But now you have Joe Ryan rehabbing tonight, goes 3 innings, throws 40 pitches for the Saints, strikes out 4, doesn't give up any runs, 32 strikes. That's what he does, and looks like he's going to step right back into this rotation in 5 days, Brandon.
Yeah, and that's going to be huge. I mean, I don't know when everybody gets back to full strength what that means for someone like Bundy, whose ERA is almost 6 now. Again, I've written that I think Archer could help them in the bullpen. I'm not as certain about Bundy in that instance, but I don't think they're necessarily going to just dump him either. So I'm really not sure where you go from here, but getting healthy in the rotation can only be construed as a positive. And so, yeah, very enthused about it. I totally get why the Twins did not throw him to the Wolves against the Yankees tonight. 40 pitches, that would have been against this Yankees team probably about 2 innings. So, collective, let's see, 330 pitches, 340 pitches thrown tonight. So, yeah, that wouldn't have gotten very far, and the Twins would have been knee-deep into a bullpen that and two people got upset about Tyler Duffy working the other night, and I get that because he pitched very poorly. But everybody that Twins fans would have rather seen in the meantime has given up runs since then. Duran, Smith, you name it. And so even Hovani Moran was good in the first inning tonight and then walked 3 and gave up a run. He looked good, but not as good as you'd hope. It flux right now, and so when Duran has a tough one, it's not surprising that just trickles upward.
I wondered if this was going to happen for him tonight. He was kind of due to give up some runs, and even the best relievers will give up runs. He's a rookie reliever. Yeah. After all, didn't get his fastball up enough, I thought, tonight.
Well, the Twins hit Aroldis Chapman hard, so It's not like even great hard-throwing closers are immune to this kind of thing. It was going to happen sooner or later, and against the Yankees, at least it's not people get mad when it's against the Tigers. When it's against the Yankees, it's like, all right, these things happen.
And Sonny Gray sounds like through a successful or has a rehab or a bullpen today, excuse me. So it could be Joe Ryan, Sonny Gray when they go to Seattle in games 1 and 2, and the rotation could be slowly coming back together healthily. And you look at this weekend, I believe it's Devin Smeltzer Friday. Twins are going to see 2 good pitchers the first 2 days in Drew Rasmussen and Shane Baz, but they showed tonight they can get on some good starters. Hopefully Smeltzer gives you some length Friday. What do you expect to see out of Twins pitchers this weekend, Brandon? I didn't see Saturday is to be determined, and then Sunday I think they're back to Sands.
Yeah, and I think they're facing, is it Springs too, who's been kind of interesting. So, yeah, I mean, again, it's going to be a series where the Twins are going to be undermanned in terms of the head-to-head pitching matchup. And it's always weird because the head-to-head pitching matchup, the pitchers don't actually face each other. They're facing their respective offenses. But it's going to be more of the same. The offense is going to have to come to play, and then you hopefully can hang on just enough at the end. Right now, I don't think it's surprising to anyone if I tab this as a team that's kind of patching it together pitching-wise. And you cannot put this on this front office to say they didn't build or they didn't add enough pitching. Now, I will say, if you thought they should get Frankie Montas, Tyler Mahle, whoever, perfectly reasonable, and I agree. But with this level of injuries, the Twins would still be in a tough spot even with one more starter. So it comes at a frustrating time, and I totally get it. But at the same time, too, at least the Twins aren't walking guys on 1-2 counts intentionally. There's a lot of messy stuff going on in the AL Central that does not involve the Twins whatsoever.
So Twins in game 1 were down 5-4 in the 7th. They beat the Yankees in game 2, and the game's tied at 7 in the 7th inning in game 3. So they were very competitive against the Yankees team that is not completely healthy. They're missing Aroldis Chapman and Jonathan Loaisiga, but not even close to the same level as the Twins. Do you feel any better, Brandon? And maybe you didn't feel, down about the Twins' ability to compete and beat good teams, but do you feel any differently now, knowing that they're going to get Sonny back, they're going to get Joe Ryan back, and they're going to get closer to full strength here? Do you feel better about how they match up against the best teams in the league?
To some extent. Too, though, like if we want, there were people making the parallels to this game tonight and that game in July a couple years ago where I think Aaron Hicks caught a screaming line drive. I covered that game. I think it was Kepler in 2019 hit the ball, and it. But the problem was they didn't add on 0 runs after Gerrit Cole departed. That's the difference. And it wasn't off their top guys either. It was Lucas Lucci, Miguel Castro, who throws the heck out of the ball, but he's not a stud at this point. And then Wandy Peralta, who's got a good changeup, he's a good pitcher. But again, this is not the old Yankees where they had Ottavino just dicing up people, and even Zach Britton at his best. So I'm enthused by the fact that with the MASH unit they have as a team, they've managed to keep afloat. But I don't know that things are going to clear up fast enough for me to be like, yeah, they're going to go into Tampa Bay and take 2 or 3. But with that said, we were in that same position with Toronto, and they did that. So, Toronto was rolling. I think they had won 8 straight coming into that series. I'm pleased with how this team has stemmed the tide, how they've weathered the storm, any cliche you want to use. But I still don't feel great about the 26 men they have up right now, and it's not their fault.
Twins are 33-26. Yes, 33-26. Brandon, thank you so much. Thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight. We'll be back for post-game soon. And we thank you for checking in, for commenting, for liking, watching. Thank you so much, Brandon. Appreciate you, sir. We'll talk.